Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Well, it's another beautiful morning in Delaware. Let's see what Facebook's all about today. Okay, let's see. Another one with a woman talking about how lonely she is. Okay. Oh, here's one from a day ago talking about mocking a Lyft driver for talking to her. Like, who is he to chat her up? And what the fuck, really? Is that really how it goes, ladies? I mean, first you complain about how lonely and isolated you are, and then when somebody who's obviously at work takes the time to actually show some interest and want to speak to you, that you go ahead and you act this way, your superiority complex come on. But then again, it's not just ladies that do this. There are other people out here who do this same shit too. You know something? It's a good thing that this is the right day to talk about it. Let's do it. Welcome to the J-Man Show here on J360 Radio.
Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey everyone, it's good to be back for episode 19 of the J-Man Show. This is Jay, of course. Just checking in to see how you're all doing. It is great to be back. Yeah, I know, we're on Friday, but guess what? I deliberately delayed this episode because I wanted to get some more information about the storm going on in Washington, and there's a lot of news. It's too much news for me to even cover on this show. I need to go on ahead and create a political format, huh? Well, you know, I've also created some other shows in J360, and for those of you out there that are looking forward to me crossing over with some of the Potterin family in the future, I'm currently designing that show right now. Like, sure, you can guest star on the J-Man Show, but I'm going to have it so anybody can come in, you know what I'm saying? Just a little bit of a hub, and we'll see how that goes, and plus, that's why I've been kind of practicing on Facebook for a little bit there for a minute, for those of you that were paying attention. Now, let's go on ahead and get into it. It's time to, you know what, it's not really a Trump watch today. More or less, this is going to be a soapbox. We're still feeling a bit of an ass-kicking from 2016 and 2014 with this new Congress. See, not only is the Orange Overcomb showing his nepotism skills by giving his son-in-law half of his responsibilities and the oh-so-great, vague Office of American Innovation, whatever the hell that means. It's so pointless what Krishna is going to do for us. Believe me, it's just... Oh, God, I'm using one of his words. It's just unbelievable. He doesn't have any experience any more than Trump does. I'm just going to have to keep an eye on it. But, it's so ridiculous. But he's not the only one in the news. The Congress that sold out our internet privacy has acted again by disavowing grand standards to push Gorsuch through to the Supreme Court. And then, of course, there's the Syrian issue. And, 50 missiles went ahead and fired over there. But guess what? It didn't count for anything. Old Trumpy boy tried to go for World War III and came up short. Thank goodness for that. Way to abuse your power, you know? And there's just so many other implosions occurring around the country. But don't rest your heels on this, because the head of the FCC, Ajit Pai, I think that's his name, Ajit Pai, I think, or Ajit Pai, something like that. You know what? I will figure out his name on another show, but let me tell you this much. This man wants to roll back net neutrality rules. So now we have that issue opening up again. There's so many things going wrong with this whole thing. You can't just throw MAGA at this. You got to be WTF at this point. And then you're wondering why certain amendments haven't gone through to get this guy out of office. But, maybe it's coming. Maybe I'm speaking too soon. I don't know. But, it just seems like things are getting to that point where it's coming to a head. And it's like, hey, this fool's going to lead us into something that we can't really get out of. You know what I mean? But it's not like y'all don't really know. I know a lot of y'all are really keeping your nose to the grindstone like me. Only reason why I haven't gotten that close to it is because, for a while there, it will make you sick after a while. So I kind of had to move on to something else for a little bit, Make sure my sanity's okay. And baseball is back. So one thing evens it out, Luckily, the Phillies are doing pretty good. I mean, we're 1-1 now. So today's game at 12:35 is going to be interesting against the Reds, and then we move on from that. So by the time this episode comes up and I'm not around, you know where I am. Put it that way. I got to see my boys win, I've been waiting all this time for baseball season. And that's why I don't suffer through football withdrawal like everybody else. Now, going back into the American government and how laughable it's becoming, things are tough now, but luckily so are we. And hope with action is the best advantage we have now. You see, if there's one thing I like for all of you in the J360 Legion to do, is stay focused. Don't just get sick and bail out. Get away from it for a little bit, take a breather, come back in just like I do. If one thing I know about certain governments is they want us to check out. They want us to not pay attention. They want us to never hold them accountable. The whole bread and circus thing is like, you know what? Instead of trying to hold me accountable, why don't you just sit back and relax for a while? I'll take good care of you. Don't ever trust any of these people wearing suits running around there saying that. Because that is exactly what they are banking on. And there's just too much nonsense going on, and negligence is our vice that's going to keep us trapped in this stuff. We have to pay attention. We have to learn our enemy so that we can go on ahead and know how to fight it. Don't be intellectually lazy about this sort of thing. Moving forward, I do have something else to address from last episode. I gave you all a J360 question of the week. And it was, which was the movie of March? And here's your standings. Logan at 55%, King Kong at 9%, Beauty and the Beast 27%, Power Rangers at 9%. Damn, did anyone go see Skull Island? Now, I know I'm kind of breaking the rules here and showing my biases, but as I should. I didn't vote in this. I created it, but I didn't vote in it. I mean, he did more fighting in that movie than he did in this poll. Did all of you monster fans just go away after thinking, well, 2020 is when he faces Godzilla, so I don't have to care anymore? It's cool. It's cool. I mean, I'm just being a King Kong fan instead of the host of the show right now. Let me go back into host mode. Let me get it right. But you know what? To be fair, it has been a tough call for March this year. March has done well. Because usually it's like a sleeper hit that goes through, or Batman vs Superman. I don't care what anybody says. That movie has charm to it. I know it, and one of the Epic Film guys know it, so I'm able to go about this. By the way, what's up, Nick? Now, I want to go ahead and say this much. Logan does deserve the number one spot, though. I have to give respect where respect is due. It's the last showing of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and, of course, Patrick Stewart as Professor X. So to go from here, it's amazing to see where they're going to take the mythos. Is X-23 going to step in? I mean, where do we go from here? You know what I'm saying? And luckily, Hugh Jackman's going to help recast Wolverine, so the void's open. But I'm just, it was such a well put together movie. And then Beauty and the Beast, where can you go wrong with reinventing a classic? Sure, it's needless. Sure, you wonder why Disney is doing it. I would say money. But the thing is this. it did well, you know? Like, it's a good movie. It well deserves this number 2 spot. Now, for those of y'all that kind of didn't know what to choose between King Kong or Power Rangers, I'm going to let that slide. Because they both had the same ranks. That's why, you know, they're just bringing up the bronze medal together, I guess. I don't know. It is what it is. I'm just giving you all a little bit of hell for your opinions, you know? I mean, y'all would do the same to me. Share the love. Share the love. And amazingly, that's March for this year. So March has done pretty well as far as mainstream movies go. Sure, there was a sequel, a reboot. Well, several reboots, right? Because, yeah, this is King Kong's upteen time in a movie, so. But regardless, mainstream movies are on their way to a good start. Except for this particular film that I'm going to make the subject of your next J360 question. Now, the question for this week, should you choose to accept it, what caused Ghost in the Shell to flop? And I will have a selection of 4 different categories for you all to choose from. Now, just like last time, this poll will run for 7 days, and if you would like to discuss or comment on it, feel free to do so on our Twitter at J360 Productions, and I will also host movie discussions on the J360 Facebook page as we get closer to the summer season. You know, because some of y'all just can't wait for this show to come along, and I'm trying to be a little bit more sociable in my life, which is what today is all about. Now, speaking of movies, have you noticed how people try to live their lives like a movie, like their real lives, like they're actually in a movie? Except with none of the cool action sequences and loads of drama. As a matter of fact, drama is like the one damn thing we thrive for, right? Because none of us have time for it, but it's the one thing that we crave and want to spread around. Like, you know, some can be interesting, and plenty of it can be damn unnecessary. And then you consider how the bare minimum nowadays triggers people. It is a sign of how real de-evolution is. Now, the political stuff I discuss here affects us all, okay? One way or another, if you are a part of the Earth, which I hope you'll know that all the superpowers that are running around here pretty much acting like children. I know we got a grown 70-year-old toddler that doesn't know how to behave. Yeah, you see, he's strapped with nuclear codes and all that bullshit. So, as he goes about doing these things, it makes all of us look bad, but everybody got an itchy trigger finger and trying each other. You know, having a standoff, I should say. I have never seen more outrageous shit than since that man has gotten in office. However, I'm not going to blame him for 100% of the problems. See what I'm saying? Now, hear me out on this. We're going to go a little bit deep. To be honest with you, it seems like social interaction, common decency, and respect for your fellow man has taken a hit and a significant decline since the turn of the century. For a while there, we were okay, but not so much. Even during the Obama years, you know what I'm saying? Like, looking back on it now, all this stuff was just coming together. Like, social interaction is where most of our problems are, which is sad considering that by nature that we are very sociable creatures. And all this prejudging and all of this bias running around here nowadays holding us back. Like, sometimes you gotta have a setback for progress. I know because, well, considering making this show, there's been minor setbacks, but I still managed to get the episode done. It's a little late now, but, you know, it is what it is. And I just don't, you know, deep down inside, I don't know how we've gotten so far away from it. I mean, because, one, we could blame Donald Trump, we could blame all those things, but it's not him. This time it's the nation itself that really needs work. We as a people coming together. And it's so sad that some people are not grasping upon this. Like, we mock each other when we're trying to get someplace. We cut each other down when we're trying to speak out. And then when it comes to trying to get a potential mate, oh, that's the worst. Like, we really make fun of each other for that kind of stuff. I guess because either we're petty, or it's comical to see somebody try, or put things on a level system saying, like, oh, you can't have a girl like that. She's that beautiful. You know what I mean? She's a 10. You a 5. All that kind of stuff. Well, 5 is half a 10, so I mean, what the hell are you saying? Do I have to, like, really, really dress up so I can be a 10 too? I mean, do these rules and social norms that people keep making up and changing every day, are they really the center point of rules around here? You know what I'm saying? See, I'm not a popular opinion kind of guy. I never was. I always question things. I always took the time to go ahead and use trial and error for my benefit. Now, not to the point where I don't have common sense there, you know, like go talk to a person like in my, how you put it, average Joe kind of clothes and stuff. No, I make myself presentable when I meet people, you know what I'm saying? But it's just, to me, I think where all this stuff start becoming comedy, like the easiest form of comedy, not even comedy that you actually make clever, you know what I'm saying? It just holds us back. In my opinion, I think we could be doing a lot more, but we keep making mistakes as a nation due to the little petty things like this, like prejudgments and being biased about some people. Like, you don't know where they are in their frame of life. And at the end of the time, you try to find things to justify your point, like either their race, either their weight, either their height, age, anything, to just cause some sort of discrimination. And it's sad, you know, with me, I try to eliminate that. At least for J360, what I'm trying to build, yeah, sure. I want people of all different cultures and all different types to come in. You know, I don't like trying to gong people out. Most times, if I throw you out or I put you aside, it's because of your attitude. Some people have a shitty based attitude that makes you not want to work with them. And believe me, I know this because there's some guy that thinks that he's top shit that I know, but the thing about it is, his attitude fucking sucks. That's why he's not getting anywhere. And until the day he changes his attitude, maybe then somebody will talk to him. It ain't me, because he already had his try and he failed. You know? It's just interesting, like this girl over here talking about... She doesn't specify what type of guy she wants, but she goes on ahead and mocks this one guy for even trying to talk to her. You know, just because somebody takes the time to reach out to you doesn't mean that they're trying to get with you either. I mean, the person could be married, the person could be... Not in that particular scenario, by the way. I'm sure he was trying to holler at her. But the thing is this, you're fair game. Nobody said you're unattainable and stuff. Not unless you're wearing a ring. And if you're not wearing a ring, you know... I don't understand, like, what the problem is. Why is it such a taboo nowadays for people to even try to interact with each other? You know, to try to meet up. You know? That's why, like, little things such as people who are 50 that have never been in a relationship happen. Oh, that and a strict upbringing, you know, but still. It's just, no, we got to get out of this kind of mindset. We got to evolve as people. And we got to remember where we come from when it comes to meeting others. You know what I mean? Have a network. Get it together. Don't sit here and just put yourself in that loner situation. Let me tell you something. I remember being a loner before. I didn't like it. Got out of it. Best damn thing I could have ever done. Go out there and meet people. Associate with my community. Really work on just building up my social skills and everything else. Like, I might never have done it in an after school program. But I did do it when I got to college level. And I've been better about it ever since. And that's why, like, in one of my episodes, I talk about cutting back certain things like that is going to kill this nation. And it's going to get worse with everything else. But the thing is, it'll get worse if we let it get worse. Even if you're at your most cynical, you got to think to the future. You got to think about how you can be a better you. You can't just sit here and do that kind of stuff. That sort of thing right there, when it comes to like mocking somebody, cutting them down, it makes me feel that much better because I really try not to do that sort of thing. Now, if there's somebody being an asshole about it, a little different. But I should be open to meeting anybody because, one, I'm a producer, and two, because I'd rather live a life that's worth living instead of somebody that sits there, at least I'm safe, and nobody knows about them. Yeah, at least I'm safe. Nobody knows or cares about me, but I'm safe. Nothing can ever happen to me or harm me. I'll be alright. It's like, what a loser. You know what I mean? You ever see somebody do that kind of stuff? That's somebody that really exemplifies the term loser. Because they're so full of themselves and they're doing foolish things. Now, when people do foolish things like that, when you capture them on camera and stuff like that, yeah, it's hilarious, but you're going to have to realize this. It's sad because they think they're right. It's sad because we're at that state where people don't like to admit that they're wrong. They think admitting that they're wrong is a sign of weakness. The 45th retrograde and Incompetence Inc. are two prime examples of this. And a sad thing about Incompetence Inc. is it isn't really a second person. It is an entire entity of people that don't think that they are ever wrong. Led by a guy who thinks he's going to live forever, and by being in public office that he's going to be eternally and universally loved. I think I just outlined a dictatorship by saying all of that. But I leave that up to you and the J360 Legion to really let me know what kind of framework I'm building as I design this. But it's a shame. Like, I just don't see why we are in this sort of area again. We were on our way. We were coming together. People were actually identifying more so as a melting pot. But, when you got people that just don't know how to bring that social interaction together or don't have good social skills, sure, they're great at working and stuff, but being great at working is half of the thing. You got to socialize, too. Nowadays, things are so integrated and stuff. People are going to communicate. You got to be able to communicate back. If you don't know how to do that sort of thing and you feel yourself stifled up, go to a public speaking class, learn what you need to learn, do what you got to do. Associate. You can be professional about your public speaking. And, it's just unbelievable where we are. And those of you that are scared to date because of that woman I talked about at the beginning of this show, stop being scared. That's what they want. That's what people want you to do. It seems like nowadays they don't want you to be out here in society and express yourself. Even though that is technically one of your rights, and you should be doing that regardless if it's a right or not. Because there should be no real system control. Unless you're at work. And even then you're at work for should be 8 hours or so. It should be hours where you make a livable wage. But all of a sudden, like I said before, that thing's a thing of the past, right? It's just, I've been thinking about this for quite some time now, And, I know I'll try to make my improvements. Because I'm not perfect. And I know a lot of y'all out there are not perfect. And you do the best you can, and then there's some people you just can't be friends with. I get that. I get that a lot. But at least you're open and you're able to communicate with that person if you needed to communicate with them, is what I'm saying. Nowadays, people just shut things down, and they see somebody trying to communicate with somebody they know, and then it's hey, don't you do it. Don't you communicate with him, blah, 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 blah. It has nothing to do with you at that point. That's him communicating with somebody else that happened to be a friend of yours. It doesn't mean he's trying to get through her to get to you. Now, if there's been some crazy shit about that happening and I wouldn't put it past them, the thing is, it might not be like that. Things are so broad, and people and their triggers are destroying the fabric of social interaction. It don't take much to trigger somebody. It doesn't take much to offend anybody in this world. It's like when you go to a comedy club and you see the comedian up there performing. He's acting out. He's doing what he got to do. But then your friend that you can't take anywhere, but for some reason you had to take them out, stands right there and says, I am offended. I am so offended. I cannot believe that this is happening. Why is this act like this? And the comedian had over at least 5 or so years on stage and know that there's a heckler out there, but this crazy ass so-and-so doesn't know when to shut the hell up and just has to be outraged about everything like it's their time to perform, which, by the way, you should never bring somebody like that with you because you're going to get clowned too. And if you didn't want to get clowned, make sure you bring the right group of friends with you. And then sometimes go alone because you know what? You might meet somebody then. It's just a waste of time to see all this stuff going on. And then the person has to apologize. But let me tell you something. This is where apologizing can get pretty bad. Because you have assholes out there, right? Even if they manage to get an apology, they still keep it going. They still keep it going. Never lighten up. Never leave it alone. Always something. Every time. It's I'm sorry. No, it's not good enough. You owe me something else other than that. I'm going to take you to court. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to take it all out on you and everything. It's shut up, Dino. I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Just shut up. You ever watch the Flintstones and you hear Dino make that noise? That's what somebody that complains sound like to me. Sounds exactly like friggin' Dino. And I'm just shut up. And I gotta be careful saying friggin' Dino because maybe some of my so-and-so friends out there Probably sit right there and say, "Yo, he talking about Dino. Yeah, my son. We gonna take care of his ass." Not yet, folks. Wait until episode 30. I gotta get more episodes of the J-Man Show in before, you take me out. Now, the thing about that is, you can tell I don't take shit seriously sometimes. Because, like I said before, it doesn't take much to trigger people. You can't be a bundle of nerves out here and hope to survive. You're the first one that gets taken down. Overt sensitivity is what is destroying us. It's kind of why he's in office. You know what I mean? Because everything that is about structure and stability, he has never been about that. I don't think he's ever been about that even when he owned Trump Tower. Well, actually, he still does. He's going to make his money one way or another, right? It's us paying for the wall. It's us paying for all this stuff. But, like I said before, everything that you have as structure, order, and stability, he ain't about that life. And he got voted for that. But of course, you got the people now that are very, very disappointed in him. But as usual, he doesn't care. He don't care about that stuff. And that's the problem. You got a lot of people out here who don't care. And see, the thing is, I do care. I care about this nation. I care about the people in it. I care about the future. Because in the end, his ass, much like any other person of advanced age, are not going to live forever. That's not the way it works. The old generation is supposed to retire and move on. The younger generation that is supposed to be the leaders take over, and then they prepare and groom the younger generation to take over. But if you're going to commit mass genocide and just wipe us all out, doing it through other ways. It doesn't have to be an all-out warfare, in terms of the conventional sense. It can be in terms of silencing free thinking. It could be in terms of defunding certain peripherals that people need. It could also come into the terms of censoring what people say and what people do. And it could be a lot of things such as not allowing them to take charge and showing bad leadership. The only problem with bad leadership is if you're somebody that's bad at your job, and I should go ahead and save this for another episode, but I'm going to tell you this. This one's on the house. If you are bad at your job, what is one way you make yourself look better? By making somebody else look worse. And that's what he's doing with this Obama witch hunt every week. Or try to keep him accountable, fake news. Or just any excuse he can pull out at that time. Instead of doing his job. And it's just like how a lot of these people nowadays out here, they make excuses for everything. Their social defects or whatever. They make all these excuses. Instead of just being honest that, hey, you know what? I was a jerk. I'm sorry. Can we move on from this? You know what I'm saying? But you're never going to get that from people that keep carrying on and being as arrogant as they do. And just pretty much act like people should just mind their business, not get involved. No, when you do that kind of stuff and it's in the public and it's near me, I have something to say. And believe me, you don't want to hear what I have to say. Because even on this show, I'm kind of keeping it G-rated for me. Because that shit is crazy. Like, it just gets on my nerves with people sometimes. But I have hope. Because as soon as all this nonsense stops, and everybody starts listening more, and actually take the time to communicate, things will get better, and that's when the healing will begin. Everybody says you got to promote through love. Everybody wants love, but let me tell you this, though. You had it at one time, and you can get it again. But you see, all this stuff here is just a festival of fools. It was the festival of failure, because it is a failure. One way or another that's going on, this MAGA shit. It's a failure. But the only way to stop a failure is to identify that it is a failure, and it is a problem, and then we can recover from this. You got to acknowledge that this stuff isn't just happening because of, whoever's in charge of politics, whatever. It also is responsibility of this nation. Like, we the people, we have to be responsible for ourselves again. The way we act, the way we carry ourselves, the way we do what we do. You know what I mean? It's okay to have fun, but in the end, when we start going ahead and causing drama and we're not able to speak up on behalf of that drama, that's the problem. You know, be accountable for what the hell you do, too. It's not just a finger pointing session. What did you do at the time? You see? And most times people don't know how to admit and tell their own story right. So they make shit up. But you know what? That about does it for the J-Man Show this week. I mean, I wanted to go ahead and give you all some introspective talk about social interaction and, you know, how we all carry ourselves in society. And hopefully I've done that right. I know it's been kind of shifty, but it's kind of a hard topic to talk about because no matter how you splice it, it seems like society has gotten from bad to worse, and there's still another level for them to go, and I'm hoping we don't touch that level. Matter of fact, I'm sure some of you out there are seeing shades of that level. And I just hope we don't get there, because right now, the government doesn't give a damn. The people are jaded. And still the money is going somewhere. And it's not going in the right place. And it has to stop. But anyway, that's all there is for the J-Man Show today. Please come back next week on Thursday. Yeah, we're going for Thursday, because that's the day, for episode 20. And episode 20 is going to be awesome. I guarantee it. We're going to go back. We're going to have some fun. And you know what? I'm going to keep it as a surprise, because there's no need to tell y'all yet. But, you know, just really take the time and think about how you interact with people. You know, see where you can make changes at. Because that's the only way we're ever going to make it as a nation, because the same old way just doesn't work anymore. So, outside of that, though, this is Jay signing off. See you later.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.